How you doing, everybody? Welcome to Stand Focus for Jesus. This video will be, I guess you would say, an testimony 2.0. When I first started doing YouTube ministry videos for the Lord Jesus Christ, it started with one video. It started with my testimony for Jesus Christ and how I became born again. Now, I came across a few videos on YouTube. I was watching some people giving their testimony. And I was like, man, that's a good idea. And the Holy Spirit was like, yeah, that's a good idea. You should do that. And I was like, yeah, I should do that. So I was like, I'm going to do it. And the Holy Spirit was like, yeah, you should do it. But so time passed. I think it was like a few months, maybe 2 or 3 months. Didn't do it. The Holy Spirit convicted me and was like, remember you said you were going to make that testimony video. I was like, yeah, I did say that because I was, in prayer. I was like, Lord, I want to be used for you. I want to do some great things for your kingdom. I want to preach. I want to, lead people to Christ. I just had this passion, this zeal. I just had this fire in me. You know how it is when you're first born again, and hopefully you still have that passion, that zeal for Christ to preach his gospel. If not, just pray for it. Because, at different times in our walk, we do get lackadaisical. We do have I've been doing this for a while. I'm just going to take a break. If you've gotten to that point, just ask God to put that zeal back in you, and he will. But time passed and Holy Spirit convicted me. I said I was going to do it. Didn't do it. Some more time passed. I got convicted again. Said I was going to do it. Didn't do it. Time passed again. Holy Spirit convicted me. And this time he was convicting me like I couldn't go to sleep. Like I was laying down trying to go to sleep. He was like, make the video. Got to make this testimony video. And woke up. It was on my mind. Got to make this testimony. Got to make the testimony video. But I still wasn't doing it. Went to work, it was on my mind. Got off, it was on my mind. So I knew it was God wanted me to make this video. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. So I tried to be, I ain't going to say slick, but I went and asked some other people. I was like, hey, I got this idea. Since I'm a little bit older than you and you're a little bit younger, we can come together and we can make YouTube ministry videos and we can touch on different topics and subjects. Me giving a little bit of perspective from the old school, you giving a perspective from the new school. We coming together and we're reaching old school and new school together. So they're like, yeah, that's a good idea, but they didn't do it. They didn't go through with it. And so I asked somebody else, did they want to do it? And they said they weren't ready to be on camera and they were making excuses and stuff. So I got kind of frustrated. And I was like, okay. I said, it's just me and you then, God. I said, I was like, I don't need them, this and that, this and that. But I was speaking in the flesh. I was just upset because they didn't want to help. But it wasn't meant for them to help me. And I didn't realize it at that time. But it was something that God wanted me to do by myself. Well, not in the sense of by myself because I had the Holy Spirit helping me, but I think you understand what I'm saying. So I did a testimony video, had these notes laid out. I think I had like 4 or 5 pages worth of notes, giving my testimony, pretty much my whole life story. And that was the first video I did when I started doing YouTube ministry. I put it out there and then the Holy Spirit just gave me something else. He was like, you should make a video on that. I was like, yeah. I said, but I don't really know how to, do this and do that. So, have my notes and everything. And I was just being led by the Holy Spirit about what to speak on. And he was getting me more comfortable and acclimated with being on YouTube because YouTube can be kind of harsh if you don't know. If you put YouTube videos out and everything and you've read some of the comments on some of these videos, not mine, but other people's, you know that YouTube can be a harsh world, and it is tough to get on camera and put yourself out there for the world to see and everything. I think at first, I think I might have disabled the comments and all that because I didn't want to know what anybody had to say. Didn't care what anybody had to say. I was like, look, you don't need to say anything. This is my testimony for Jesus Christ. Just listen to the testimony. There's no reason to comment on it. That's how I felt. But excuse me. So I made the second video, and then I made the third video, and then now you see me having all these videos that the Holy Spirit puts in my heart to make, to get the knowledge and wisdom and understanding out there that He has given me to share with whoever wants to listen, whoever wants to grow, whoever wants to fellowship. So that's my testimony on that part about how I got into YouTube ministry. But now I want to get into a little testimony about myself and how I became to be a born again Christian. So bear with me. This video may be kind of long. I'm going to be saying probably a lot of a lot of stuttering and stammering, but I'm going to do the best I can to tell my testimony, my story of how the Lord Jesus Christ saved me. So I grew up, as you would call, a army brat. My dad was in the military. Typical lifestyle of a army brat. Traveled around the world, Germany, been to Germany 3 times. Stayed over there for X amount of years while I was younger. Typical army brat life. Didn't, have any wants and needs because, of course, when you're in the military, pretty much everything is taken care of. I guess I will speak some personal and deep stuff. My dad that raised me is not my real dad. Now, I know a lot of people that are close to me don't even know this. So some of you watching this video, you know these things, and there's only a handful of people that know this about me. That my dad that raised me isn't my real dad. I didn't find this out until I was 28, maybe 27 or 28 years old. I'm 31 years old now. The question I was asking was, why did I have to find out so late, and why did I have to find out the way that I found out? I'm not going to get into the whole story about how I found out unless the Holy Spirit leads me to later on in this video, because I want to stay on topic or whatnot. But I say that because God gave me a lot of revelation about my life later on, different deep spiritual things about why my dad who raised me decided to take care of me when I was still inside my mother's womb, knowing that that child, which would be me, wasn't his. Some of you may be saying, well, maybe he loved your mom and stuff and this and that, this and that. It's a possibility. High school. We're talking about like high school, 11th, 12th grade, around that time, I think. But to make the story even deeper, my dad who raised me, he is a Mason. So you have the spiritual aspect of it. And no, he wasn't a Mason back then, but my dad is 50, I think 50 now. And he's pretty much the same person he was when he was in high school. Just to give you something to think about. So he still has that same type of spirit on him that was on him back then. And I believe from what God has shown me that it was Satan using him to get his hands on me to lead me astray and to pretty much turn me into a Satanist. And that goes into some real personal deep stuff throughout my life that I was exposed to by my dad, whatnot. Dad, if you watch this video, you already know how I am. If you come across this video, I've forgiven you. I love you. And we still stay in the same neighborhood and I still talk to you. Well, not in the same neighborhood, but the same city. So I see you every other week, every 2 weeks or whatnot when you come around and everything. So I have no regrets. I have no unforgiveness towards you if you watch this video, but you know me, I'm going to speak the truth. But yeah, get off train of thought for a minute. Yeah, so typical lifestyle of an army brat. I could have been, pretty much anything I wanted to be. Doctor, lawyer, race car driver, whatever. All those opportunities were afforded to me. Grew up making A's and B's all throughout all my years. I think up into the excuse me, up into the 11th, maybe mid 11th, excuse me, 12th grade. That's when I started to, you know, falter and stuff and everything. I remember when I had gotten the first, I think it was a C or a D on my report card, and I cried. I was on the bus and I cried all the way home, trying to hold them tears back because I thought my parents were going to get into my butt, because that's how it was. I was going to make A's and B's. I was a smart kid. Those were the standards that were set. It was expected. And me getting that C, I was like, oh man, I've gotten this C. They finna tear it to me. I've let them, I've let my parents down or whatnot. I mean, some of some of you've come from that type of household. Some of you come from that type of lifestyle or whatnot. But got home with that C. Mama asked me why I was crying and stuff like, "Ooh, I got a C on my report card." But I didn't get a whooping. um, and everything. I didn't get a whooping, so I guess that was good. But I'm just sharing that to give you an idea of what type of lifestyle, what type of household I came from to get into to transition into the next phase of my life. So I didn't have to do anything that I did in life, but the things that I was brought up around, I thought they were cool. I thought it was okay. And then the spiritual aspect of it about why I did some of the things I did and why Satan had his hand on me, trying to keep me from God, they all tie in together. So years passed and I decided I wanted to make counterfeit money. I think I was 16, 17 at the time. I have no idea where I got it from. The idea of how to do it. It was just something that I just knew how to do. Many people ask me like, how'd you learn? How'd you do it? I grew up in the era when technology was was booming. It was jumping. It was just coming along or whatnot. So I grew up in that era of being on the computer, 24 hours a day, staying up all night, video games, PlayStation, and what I'm saying, and all that was, technology was just coming along and it was advancing, so fast or whatnot. So I decided to do the counterfeit thing because I set a goal to retire at age 25. And I was 16 or 17 at the time. I think the counterfeit thing may have come up a little bit later because I was doing all type of wicked stuff at that young age. I was doing check frauds, credit card fraud, you know, eBay fraud, PayPal fraud, selling stuff I didn't have and getting money orders and then, cashing the money orders in a fake account, getting the money out, living the life at such a young age chasing money. As the scriptures say, for the love of money is the root of all evil. I grew up, the music I grew up on, I really started listening to music, wasn't something that I should have been listening to at that time. But I didn't know. Nobody was warning me. Nobody told me about this different stuff. I didn't have a pastor, or I didn't have a spiritual leader, true man of God over me, telling me, hey, you shouldn't be listening to this music or whatnot because of this. And the music I grew up on was 3-6 Mafia, 666. I didn't know anything about what was contained in the Bible about 666. You know, Mom might have said something every now and then. You listen to this music, so and so, this and that. But you young, you're like, whatever. I'm gonna listen to my jams. You go sit down somewhere. So I grew up on 3-6 Mafia, 666. So you can just imagine the unclean spirits that I was taking in from this music alone, and the influences that they were having on me as a human being, and also the spirits that my dad had and has on him that were influencing me. My dad has always been that type to money. Gotta have some money in his pocket. Excuse me. Gotta have some money in his pocket. He had to have some women, we'll just put it like that. So of course, if he is pursuing these things and these unclean spirits are on him and he is unsaved, then they're gonna get on me or whatnot. And anybody that knows me, they'll tell you that, excuse me, nose running. They'll tell you that when I was younger, everywhere my dad went, I was there. If he was in the gym, I was there. If he was here, I was there. If he was there, I was there. Anywhere he could bring me, I was there with him. So all these different influences that he had on me, I guess I said that wrong. All these different things that he was doing and how he was living his life, I was being exposed to him. And at this particular point in time, he was a Mason. I think my dad's been a Mason probably 30 years, maybe, probably even longer. Of course, he can tell you better than I can, but he's been a Mason for a very, very, very long time. My mom even knows about it. Of course, she would know about it because she was married to him, but she knows the truth about Masonry and who they truly worship. They worship Lucifer. So, yeah, he won't admit that, but maybe he knows and maybe he doesn't. I haven't had that chance to have that conversation with him because when it comes up, he kind of like shuts down and he gets out of there. Masons like to be secretive. If you aren't in the elite or in the need to know, then you don't need to know or whatnot. But so yeah, all these different unclean spirits were, of course, they're going to get on me and everything. And I was going to be influenced by them. And then with the music thing, listening to 3-6 Mafia, Project Pat, all this crazy satanic stuff, it influenced me to do some of the things I did. And one of those things was to kind of fit money, check fraud, credit card fraud, all these different things at a young age. I look back and I say there's no possible way I knew how to do all this stuff. Just boom, I just know how to do it. We're talking about I'm in high school. Every day in high school, I got on a fresh outfit or a fresh pair of shoes because I didn't commit credit card fraud, and then went to the mall with my homeboy and we done bought 15 pair of shoes. Just craziness. Or selling stuff I didn't have. I remember I sold a Lamborghini. This is going to sound crazy to you, but this is a true story. sold a Lamborghini that I didn't have. At this time, kit cars were popular. If you're familiar with kit cars, and you understand. And I always wanted a kit car. I'm gonna get me a kit car. I'm gonna get me a Lamborghini. And that was part of my plan I had laid out. Retire at age 25 and to own a Lamborghini. I'm like, I'm going to own a Lamborghini. And I felt like there was nothing that was going to stop me. It reminds me in Genesis where they were building the Tower of Babel. Then the Lord came down. He said, "They're doing all this, and nothing shall stop them." Looking back, that's how I felt. I felt like that nothing was going to stop me from retiring at age 25, and nothing was going to stop me from having that Lamborghini. Only thing that was going to stop me, the only thing that did stop me was the Lord, just like He stopped them then. So it's amazing how the Bible ties into my life, and I'm pretty sure the Bible ties into many of your lives also without you even realizing it at the time. But I was selling a Lamborghini. It was a kit car. Didn't have. I was digging deep in the internet, found some pictures of whatnot, had it listed on the local uh, kit car website and everything. Had my PayPal set up, sending the guy pictures. He wanted to see pictures of this. He wanted to see pictures of that. So I'm sending the pictures and everything. That he wanted the copy of the title because he asked me to have the copy of the title. I was like, yeah, copy of the title, which I was lying. I didn't have any copy of the title, so I was trying to figure out, like, okay, how can I get this man a copy of the title? Now, at this point in time, I'm doing counterfeit money. My uh, partner of mine, he had a Buick Regal at the time. He had just got it clean, 1982 Buick Regal, like so clean you can eat off the engine type clean. We were really into old school cars and stuff. I still am, but I'm just not in bondage to it. But I had got his title, made a copy of it, and I was going to alter the title, so it can read that it was a kit car, all that good stuff and whatnot. So I did all that, and it was like 2 or 3 days before the money was cleared because the money was transferred from my PayPal account to my bank account and everything. Then I was going to withdraw the money, then close the account and close the PayPal account, and then boom, right off to the sunset and go do something else wicked. But I think I went out that night and I didn't complete the um didn't finish up the what you call it? I just forgot. Not the bill of sale, but the title or whatnot. So he canceled it. So I lost out on like $35,000-$40,000 scam within like a week's time. I said I was wicked at a young age. I was wicked. Some of the stuff I was doing is just like, what in the world? But I went down to Alabama. A lot of my family, they stay down there. My fleshly family, my mother's side, they stay down in Alabama. Fairhope, Bay Minette, Gulf Shores, if any of you are familiar with that area. So I go down there, I have my older cousin. He's like, I think 7 or 8 years older than me. At this time, I'm like 16, 17, maybe going on 18. Yeah, yeah, going on 18. Let me back up. I was like 17 going on 18 because I had signed up for the military. And and then I went down there to visit, turned him on to it, was telling him about the counterfeit money and stuff and everything. He asked me questions, how you do it, what you need, this and that, this and that. So I was telling them, I was showing them. So we just printing money, just printing money, printing. Don't even know why we was printing that much money, just printing it up. And did a little trial run. He went to a few stores, tried it out, and everything to see, how it was going to be, uh, you know, make sure that it was going to pass and everything. Um, there was a young lady who didn't like my cousin, and the police were, I guess, kind of like caught on it. There was counterfeit money going around, so they were going through different businesses, trying to put the connection stuff together. I'm sure how God works. The girl that didn't like my cousin, she didn't know that he had passed her counterfeit money. She just said that it was him or it was a possibility because she didn't like him. So already God was intervening right then, trying to stop it, not trying to because he wanted to. He could boom shut it down at any point in time. But she didn't know that he had passed her the counterfeit money and he was the one that was doing it. She just pointed him out because she didn't like him. It just so happens that the person she pointed out was the person that was doing it. It was my cousin and me. So Secret Service was riding up and down the street. Didn't know it was a Secret Service at first, but we kind of like knew because they coming through the hood in all black, Crown Victoria, black tent and everything. We already knew it whatnot. So, like man, they looking for us and stuff. This night, then they caught on and everything. So they finally pull up on me, pull up on him. Kind of like walks off and everything. They question me and stuff about counterfeit money and stuff. They asked to speak to my guardian, which would be my aunt at the time, because I was at her house and everything. I was down there visiting and stuff. Then my aunt, she didn't know anything about it, so she gave them permission to search the house. So they go in, they search the house and everything, and the counterfeit money, we had a stack of it, about probably like that, a stack of counterfeit money printed that was under the pillow. So they came in, they found it and everything, they took everything. My auntie like, what in the world going on? This and that, this and that. So we had to tell her. The crazy thing is they didn't take me to jail. Don't know why. They didn't take me to jail. They took my cousin to jail. Um, you know, booked them, arraigned them, all that other stuff. But they didn't take me to jail. They just told me to show up in court so and so date. So I'm like, man, I'm in the military. I'm about to go to the military and stuff, this and that, and everything, and whatnot. And then that was it. They gave me their card, said show up on here. I was scared because I thought my mom was gonna tear my butt up. I done made some counterfeit money, and now I'm in trouble. And the whole family like, what in the world's going on? Just like, what in the world is they doing or whatnot. So I go back to Georgia, and my time comes to go to the army. But before I went to the army, I went to, back down to Alabama for I don't know what it was. All they did was ask me questions. They took my fingerprints. Asked me why we printed up so much money. They were like, we never seen this much money printed up at one time. I was just like, I don't know, we just printed. And what they did was they put me on what is called pre-trial diversion, which is if you don't get in trouble for a whole year, then they take it off your record like it never happened. So that I did that, and then I went back to Georgia again, and then I left for the military. So I go to the military, complete basic training and everything, thinking I got to start something new. Then I had to leave because they want me to show up for court. Just a regular, showing up for court or whatnot. So get my records and stuff. Commander tells me you got to go show up for court and everything. When you go for court, just report to your unit, and then boom, you'll go from there. So I leave. I did my basic training in one of the worst places that you can do it, Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. Whew. You talk about somewhere that's cold. I'm talking about like cold that's not even fair. But I met a lot of good people. Well, I say good because none of us are good, but you understand what I'm saying. Met some people and everything, different life experiences and whatnot. The gas chamber, that was probably the worst thing, the biggest thing I was scared of when I first went to the military. The gas chamber, man, the gas chamber. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can do it or whatnot. But made it through that. It was an experience in itself. Remember getting smoked a whole bunch of times. Uh, had walking pneumonia. I think did I have it twice there or once? But I can't remember how many times I had it. But I had walking pneumonia. Made it through that by God's grace. God has his hand over me in that and everything. Yeah. So I left and then went show up for court. Did that, and then I was looking for my unit because they told me to report to my unit after I got done showing up for court. It was just a regular check-in. I couldn't find my unit. I typed in the address and I was like, ain't nothing here. There's nothing here. Not realizing that it was possibility for it to be on base on Fort Benning. But I didn't I didn't know. I was calling the number and I was like, nobody was answering the phone. It was just ring, 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 ring. So after about a week or two, something like that, I gave up. I was like, well, I said, if they want to find me, they know that, that I'm out or whatnot, then they'll contact me. So time passes, time passes, time passes. Nobody contacts me. I'm back in the neighborhood. Um, they give me, they gave me a uncharacterized discharge. You have honorable, uncharacterized, and you have dishonorable. So uncharacterized would be not the good, not the bad. So I got the paper in the mail. They had discharged me and everything. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm kind of like upset about it. Man, dang, why they didn't contact me? Or, I couldn't find my unit or whatever. But I was like, hot head, like whatever, man. Whatever. I ain't studying it. They didn't. Obviously, they didn't want me because they didn't come looking for me. They didn't contact me. Couldn't find the place. Whatnot. Honestly, probably didn't try too hard. Probably tried hard enough where like, okay, I've called these people and looked for these people for 2 weeks, and that was it. But so I'm back in Georgia. Remind you, I'm still on probation from the Alabama charges for making counterfeit money. So I crank it up again. I started again, and this is where it really starts to take off. Have it set up like a business. Have the money on a CD while I had to put the CD in the computer and print it out or whatnot, do what I need to do with it, you know, cut it up, ball it up, all that other stuff, or give it however I need to give it. And the way that I would do it is, if a person came to me and they wanted to purchase some counterfeit money, I would sell it to them for real money. So if you came to me and you said you wanted $400 worth of counterfeit money, I would sell it to you for X amount of dollars of real money. So me having already done it before, and me now tweaking my, as you say, illegal skills in that area during that time and whatnot, it was like it was nothing to me. It was nothing. It was just like I was just doing it, whatnot. I had my boys and everything. We would do some crazy stuff, crazy wicked stuff. Um, like we may be bored. They may hit me up and say, "Can we get a sheet?" I'm like, "What y'all trying to do?" Yeah, man, we trying to get some hookers or some prostitutes or whatnot, trying to do some things we ain't got no business. Pretty sure y'all can get what I'm getting at with that. So I would get the money ready. Sometimes I would ride out with them, just to go because I wanted to see, what I'm saying, I wanted to see the quality of my work, and that was my biggest thing. If it couldn't pass, then it did no good. There was no use in having it and whatnot. So sometimes I would go. Sometimes I would participate in uh, things that I had no business, and we would just do stupid, wicked stuff. So I was selling it, like I said, and I sold it to a guy who happened to be a confidential informant. What happened was he was down in, I think, Dothan, Dothan, Alabama, Dothan, Georgia, somewhere or whatnot, and he was going into like one of these little small time country stores, and he was getting change for the money. Excuse me. He was getting change for the money, but he was going there with $100 bills. Excuse me. He got away with it, I think once or twice or whatnot, and then they eventually caught on and everything. So since he was already a CI or on probation or whatever, they told him, where'd you get this from and everything. So he told him, set me up. They had recorded um, phone call conversations, marked bills, just all type of crazy, crazy stuff and everything. During the time while I was doing it, same thing, living a good life, having money in my pocket, go to Walmart and just buy all type of stuff I didn't need, stuff I thought I needed for, to expand my illegal business venture that I was doing to try to reach a point that I wanted to reach, which was retire. At this point in time, my mom and dad had separated, and my mom was working two jobs and everything. And I was like, that's not going to be me. I'm not going to be working no two jobs and being tired and doing this, doing that. I'm going to do something else. And like I said, that's why I started um, to crank it back up, start doing it again, even when I was still on probation in Alabama, which was stupid. But I mean, stupid and ignorant. But I wasn't thinking about that. Satan had me truly blinded. But the guy set me up, and I was real tedious about my work, my scraps and everything. I would take them and burn them, get rid of them. I would wear gloves. I wouldn't touch anything with my fingerprints to get on nothing. You know that type of level of wickedness and corruptness that I was doing in things that I was doing, um, or whatnot. But during this time, I had got sloppy, starting not really caring and everything, and that's I look back now. That's really part of the reason. Not really part of the reason, but I knew it was meant for me to get caught because of that. Me getting sloppy and everything because it was time for God to do His thing. So the time and the date was set for the transaction to go down. He pulls up in a blue truck, old school blue truck. I had on some blue jeans, platinum football blue jeans, some flip flops or some what you call them things, house shoes, and a platinum football coat. Fat Albert in the game, hey hey hey, one of those coats, and a white shirt. Walked out there, met him at my house, And usually I didn't meet anybody at my house when I was doing something like that. I would tell them to meet me somewhere else, and then I would get there, before time, and so I could scope the area. That's how it was or whatnot. But go outside, get into his truck, had the counterfeit money in my coat in the sleeve right here, and he had the mark bills, which I don't. I'm just being sloppy because he had never given me mark bills before, and he had given them to me in an envelope. So I gave him the counterfeit money. He gave me the mark bills. I got out the truck. He drove off. I took about 5 steps, and next thing I know, get on the ground, get on the ground, get on the ground, get on the ground. Police like everywhere. So I laid on the ground. They put me in handcuffs, and that's the day that I retired. I'm serious. That's the day I retired. But um, they went to the house and everything. My mom was in there and stuff. She had a boyfriend at the time. My brother was in there. My brother's friend was in there. They go into the house, what I'm saying? Gun drawn, of course, everybody looking like, what in the world is going on in the house? So, they trying to make sure they got everybody. I guess they thought we had some big operation or whatever. But they bring me in and whatnot. Pretty traumatizing moment for my brother and for my whole family. Embarrassing because of my wickedness and the things that I was that I was doing. They bring me in the house and question me, ask me all type of questions and stuff. They got pretty much everybody in handcuffs and everything. They go into the house, asking this, asking that. I guess they didn't think I was gonna tell, but they like, where's this at? Where's this at? I'm looking like you're sitting at the computer. The CD's in the computer. Like the tray was out and the disc that I would print the money on was right there. But so I told them everything. I'm like, I'm the one that did it all. I'm the one doing it. This is that. This is that. Of course, they confiscated everything. I had some other stuff in there from more credit card stuff I was doing, check stuff that I was doing. I had taking it to the next level and everything. Whatnot they took stuff I was using the money, the legit money that I was getting. And I was buying legit stuff like I was buying cameras and stuff offline at wholesale prices, electronics and stuff like that. And I was selling it whatnot to make a profit and stuff because I wanted to take that money, get enough money built up or put to get together, and then pretty much launder it, start a legit business. I have a photo of just different businesses that I wanted to start. I wanted a car lot. I wanted a clothing store. It was just so many different things. I wanted a fast food franchise, and I felt like if I got my foot in the door with one business, then everything else was going to fall in place or whatnot. So they took all the stuff and everything, of course. And let me just add something to it before I forget. Excuse me. Excuse me. I had something that would have put me away for 25 years and possibly life that God had mercy upon me and he told me to get rid of. And I got rid of it. I was growing marijuana in my closet. I had a setup in my closet. I was growing it, and I think it was two days or 3 days prior to me getting caught. They did the sting on me with it was the Secret Service, GBI, which would be the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, um, task force. Saying all type of different government agencies that were involved in this and whatnot. But I was growing the marijuana in my closet. I got rid of it, and I just like, let me get rid of it. God was being merciful on me right then. I remember something in my spirit telling me to get rid of it, and I eventually got rid of it. During this time of me doing this crime, um, I sold weed a few times. Didn't even have to do it. It was just something to do. Just something to do. Didn't even have to do it. Didn't have any wants for food. Didn't have any wants for clothes. I had a roof over my head. It was just something to do. Just being devious and evil or whatnot. So, I was selling weed, just, experiencing something. Yeah, I'm gonna sell this weed and stuff. It's crazy. Folks knocking on the door 2 or 3 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, coming to get weed and everything. What else? Trying to make sure I don't forget anything in between that time. Yeah, I used to order it through the mail. It's crazy. They used to send it in like these tubes. Used to come in these tubes, and it was like some crazy type looking herbs and everything and whatnot. And I used to take it to my homegirl because she's the one that put me on connect to get the marijuana and everything. And I was used to bring it to her like, look, check this out. Tell me what this is. And she'd be like, what in the world? Where'd you get this from? Like, I ordered it. Like, you order? Like, yeah, I ordered it through the mail online and sent it to me. And I used to order the marijuana seeds that used to come out of Canada. And those are the seeds I was going to use. What did use to, have the marijuana set up in my closet or whatnot. Didn't get too far with it because I ended up getting rid of it. But I had the lights and everything and all that other stuff. And uh, those of you who know about that stuff, you know what I'm talking about. But so I was doing all that. I got caught making counterfeit money. Again, I know, stupid. Like, what? You got away with it the first time? And then you went and did it again? Yes. So I'm in jail. He took me downtown. The whole booking process, fingerprinting again, asked me all these questions. I'm being cooperative with him. I mean, there's nothing really I could do. And they had me on state charges first, which they, I want to say, like 60 something or more, a first degree forgery, and so many counts of second degree forgery. And what they did was they charged me for each piece of money that I had printed out, which I didn't really understand that. So my bond ended up being like super duper high. Parents were trying to get me out. I was like, don't stress yourself out. Don't stress yourself out about it trying to get me out because this is something that they know that I've done or what. So I'm in jail, facing all these charges. First time in jail and everything. Uh, you know, did my little time, whatnot, which I get to. But it was the first time that Jesus Christ had like came to me and really started being convicted and whatnot. And I'm gonna tell a very, very personal story uh, that only a few people know, but it's part of my testimony. So some of y'all might think it's kind of embarrassing or whatnot, or like, oh my gosh, he's telling this, but I'm gonna tell it. When I was in jail, I masturbated one time before, and some of you saying like, but I'm telling the story for a reason. unless I know that Jesus Christ that came to me and was really convicting me about some different things or whatnot. But it was a night that I was really dealing with the flesh. I didn't want to do it, but did. You locked up, you ain't got no access to do things that you want to do or whatnot. So I masturbated, and I did that, and I cried afterwards because I felt so guilty and so bad that I had let God down. So y'all can talk about me all you want to, but it's a true story. Some of y'all probably thought I was gonna say something else, but just in case you're wondering that, no, that did not happen. No, that did not happen. As far as that other thing, like, oh, did so and so, or somebody try you up? No, I didn't get tried up. If that's what some of you are wondering, partly because of God's protection, and partly because of the crime that I committed, and people were attracted to that crime that I committed. They were like, "Oh man, how'd you do it, man?" So and so, so and so. But it got to the point where I had to, lie about why I was in there. I was like, yeah, I'm in here for child support. I would look at my partner in there and they'd be like, yeah, what you in here for, man? I look at him, I'd be like, he look at me, I'd be like, child support. Then he'll laugh and everything. But yeah, God had like really convicted me at that particular point in time. I can't fully explain it. I can't fully, understand. I'm just being honest, but I know what had happened. That I had did that, and then afterwards, I cried. I cried like I cried when later on when I confessed all my sins to God and everything, and repented, and snot bubbles and stuff was coming out my nose and everything, bearing my heart and bearing my soul to God. I cried like that. Like I really had felt like I had let God down for for doing that, for masturbating and stuff. So that's of course that's personal, but I want to be transparent about my testimony and about the different things that God through Jesus Christ and His precious blood that He delivered me from. I don't want people to look at me and say, "Oh man, this dude is fake or whatnot." He doesn't have no testimony. God hadn't delivered him from anything. Now, I want y'all to know all these things, as embarrassing as they may be. I want y'all to know these things. So yeah, I'm in jail and everything, and even when I was in jail, Satan was still trying to get me because I like to invent stuff. I used to do a lot of inventing, especially when I was in jail. I used to just like visualize. I would just like put myself in the kitchen, and then I would go around the kitchen and everything. Excuse me. I would go around the kitchen. I would like think about different things of how to either make something better or come up with a completely different idea. And I would come up with an idea and I write it down. And I knew I was on the right track and the right path because a lot of things that I would invent or come up with, some of them I would see in TV, well not in TV, but on TV or in magazines. I'm like, oh, I got that written right here, and I would show people like, man, they'd be like, that is that, whatnot. And my idea was, I would come up with these ideas and everything, and then I would get out and then I would do something with them, and then be a millionaire the legit way. So it was still about the money. So of course I still had some strongholds and was in bondage to some things or whatnot, but God was still God still had His hand upon me, still had His mercy pouring out upon me and whatnot. So yeah, I was inventing stuff and everything. The people had told me that if the federal government had picked up on my charges, that it was possibilities I was going to be doing some big boy time, especially with my charges and everything, and with me having charges in Alabama. So I got a pink paper, which that's what they told me. They said, man, you get the pink paper, man. You know, man, I mean, the feds and picked up on it or whatnot. So I got the pink paper and everything. And so I'm like, man, I got the pink paper, man. I mean, the feds done got me, man. People looking like, man, the feds picked up on him, man. The feds got me. He finna do fed time or whatnot. And you know, if you know anything about jail time, if you do federal time means you're doing it to the door. They give you 25 years, you're gonna do 25 years. There is no parole or whatnot. So I'm thinking like, man, I'm about to do all these years. I ain't gonna get out to so and so time. You know, I was thinking like, man, they probably gonna give me like 5 years. Now at this time, I'm like 18, 19. You know, in jail, young, looking at some serious time. 5 years, 6 years. Hey, that was some serious time to me back. Me thinking about it, that's some serious time now. But you know, so I was thinking like, man, I'm gonna be. Let me see. Let me count. I might have been 20. Hold on, let me count. Like, I might have been between 19 and 20 because I'm counting the years. Because I remember that I was thinking that, man, if I don't get out for 5 years, then my brother's gonna be X amount of years or whatnot, and I'm gonna be so and so many years. So I might have been between the ages of 18, 19, and 20. I have to look at my paperwork, but to be sure on that. So I started crying, you know, not because of, you know, what I had done really, but because, you know, I was thinking like, man, I'm gonna miss my brother's whole you know what I'm saying, childhood. I'm not gonna see my brother grow up or whatnot. He gonna be almost grown when I get out or whatever. So I was crying about that. That was like the first time I had ever cried, you know, not the first time I ever cried, but that was the first time I cried in jail because reality had hit that I could be facing some serious time and be missing a lot of years of my life and everything. But I'm gonna show you how God works, and He was still gracious and merciful to me, even through all of that. Now, as you know, I had charges already in Alabama for doing the crime. I was on pre-trial diversion. Did the crime in Georgia, and now we're up to the point now where I'm locked up. I didn't have a paid lawyer. I had a public defender. God allowed me to only do 18 months. On top of that, I was never shipped off. I did all my time in the county jail. I remember them telling me to roll it up, which is, if they say roll up, mean, you know, get your mat, roll your mat up, get your stuff. It's time to go. So they said, Kelson King, roll it up. It was breakfast time. Kelson King, roll it up. So I'm like, oh, King gone. They used to call me counterfeit. Counterfeit, double K. That was my my jailhouse name. Counterfeit King, what, you know, whatever or whatnot. So they told me to roll it up, and I rolled it up. I'm thinking I'm about to go down the road or whatnot, and they were like, when you get out, go down here. You got to meet your PO officer and all this and all that or whatever and everything. So I'm like, whoa, I'm getting out. So you know, I'm going through the whole process of getting out or whatnot. I get out. Thank God. First thing I did was thank God. From the jailhouse to my mom's house was like probably had to be like 10 miles maybe, and I walked all the way from the jail to my homeboy's shop. My homeboy, my ex best friend and whatnot, friends for 16, 17 years. We're not best friends anymore because I live for Jesus and he still lives for the world. But that's a whole different story in itself. I walked from the jail all the way to his shop because his shop had to pass his shop to get to my mom's house. So I stopped by there. There's a hill that you go down when you're walking by. You can look down. It's like a driveway, and it goes, all the way down to the back, backyard. It's a house that has been converted to commercial property or whatnot. So I was walking by, and a guy named Levester and my partner, who I'll tell you about, Kelvin, they were standing down there, and then I walked down. They were like, "Kelson," they were like, "Is that who I think it is or whatnot?" So, like, man, when you get out and everything, this and that, like, man, I just got out. They're like, "Why you didn't call nobody?" And all, all this and all that. Everybody, he's out. Kelson King is out. He's been locked up for 18 months. So we end up, me and Kelvin end up going and getting his car and driving up there to my mom's house or whatnot. Now, mind you, my mom didn't know that I was getting out. I didn't tell anybody. Oh no, I just wanted to walk home. Enjoy the freedom, of course. So he drives me home. Ring the doorbell. She opened the door and she, you can imagine how that was if her firstborn son had just gotten out of jail and she's not expecting him to get out or be home. So, everybody in there crying and stuff and everything. He's out. Woo woo woo. And that happened. And then fast forward, I had to go back to Alabama to take care of the original charges that I had. The charges I was telling you about in the beginning of this testimony video. So I went to Alabama, just getting out of jail, not knowing if they're gonna lock me up again. So I'm kind of like nervous. I'm like, I just got out of jail. I don't want to go back. It's a possibility if I go back, it's my own fault because I shouldn't have did this and that, this and that. I go into the courtroom. They run the charges concurrent with the Georgia charges, which it means is like the time I did in jail in Georgia, it's pretty much like I did the time in Alabama too. So they ran it concurrent with me. I don't have to do any time. So boom. God, again, the same charges in two different states at two different times. I did 18 months without a paid lawyer. I mean, we're talking about serious charges, especially doing it two times in two different states. God only had me sit down for 18 months. Now, I don't know if y'all know how serious making counterfeit money is. I don't know if you know how serious, federal charges are, but they don't play. They don't play the radio, as they say or whatnot. So you can see how even in those situations, God was being gracious and merciful to me. And it's part of the reason why I'm so passionate about Jesus Christ and about preaching his gospel. Not only that, but just the different things that he has saved me from and freed me from the bondages of. I mean, you're talking about spirits that go back from when I was still in the womb that was, out to get me. I mean, some serious stuff or what. Spirits of bondage of covetousness and idolatry and fornication and all type of nasty and ungodly things or whatnot. That's why I don't like really too much care for money. Yeah, we need it to a certain extent to, you know, to survive in this world or whatnot. But people, for the most part, you see them talk about it all the time on Facebook or whatever. Gotta get this money. Gotta get this money. Gotta get this money. I don't really care about it because I've had it before. I'm not talking about just counterfeit money. I'm talking about running a scam for a week time and getting $10,000, $11,000 at the age of 17, 18. In that time frame and whatnot. That type of money or whatever, and doing what I want to with it. So that's why I'm so against when people are out here. Oh, I'm chasing this money. I get this money. Gotta get this paper up or whatnot. I've been there before, chasing money, doing all these things or whatnot, trying to get to the point that I wanted to get at, that I felt like I deserved, or where I wanted to be at, because that's where I wanted to be or whatnot. But so yeah, Alabama, time ran concurrent. Boom, I'm free. I'm just on probation for, I think, 2, maybe 3 years. Didn't get in any trouble. Still haven't gotten any trouble since then. Like I said, when they laid me on the ground, that's when I retired. When they laid me on the ground, that is when I retired. But still had bondages. Still had bondages. Wasn't where I needed to be at. Wasn't around the right people, and got sucked back into um, my old life. Not my old life in the sense of making counterfeit money and doing illegal things, but my old life in the sense of chasing those things, now doing it legitly. Cars and women, stuff like that, whatnot. While I was locked up, I had people to do Bible study with and everything, and I still have notes that I look back on, and I'm looking at these notes like I wrote that, I did that, or I went through that scripture or whatnot, and it's just amazing. These are memories that I feel like I should remember completely, but I don't. For whatever reason. But I know I have the evidence of me having these scriptures and breaking down these Bible verses, Bible chapters, verse by verse. And I'm reading like, dang. I'm talking about like, now I can look back at it now and look at it like, dang. Like what was really going on or whatnot. It was, God working in me. But again, God was gracious and merciful to me, because a month within me getting out, I had a job. My mom told me that Target was hiring, and I put an application in at Target. I didn't really want to. I was like, man, these folks is not about to hire me. I just got out of jail for making counterfeit money. This is a corporate store. I started to lie and was like, yeah, I'm gonna put that I didn't, I haven't been in jail. They asked that on the application or whatnot. But I ended up putting it on there, and I got a phone call. I think it was like within a week or whatnot, and I got the job. I was like, I said, I got the job. I work at Target. At that time, I was like, man, I got the job. I work at Target, a corporate store. I just got out of jail within a month for making counterfeit money. Here I am working in a store that's going to be working around money and whatnot. So even though I was in the back room, I was doing stock or whatnot, but still, I had the job at Target, even though I ended up being on the cash register and stuff and everything, and nobody questioned me about it. Like, hey man, you've been jailed and everything and whatnot. Why you get a job here? But excuse me, I had that smoothie coming out of me. But yeah. So again, God showing His favor, showing His grace, and having mercy upon me, gives me a job at Target within a month of me getting out of jail for making counterfeit money. So I worked there for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years almost. And this is when gas like shot up to like $3, $4 a gallon. And I had a 1978 Buick Regal with a 305 and a 250 250 TH 250 transmission. I think it was. I didn't have the 350 transmission. I think it was either the 250 or the 200. I can't remember what that. But it was a gas guzzler. Now I was fixing on it, working on it. I paid $600 for it. it was it was raggedy when I first got it, like raggedy or whatnot. But it was my car. It got me to where it needed to get me. I was driving on the highway. I would take it to work. Everything. And like I said, gas went like three something, $4, and they had cut back my hours and stuff. And I was like, man, this is a waste of time. I'm not gonna keep them coming out here for this or whatnot. So I pretty much stopped going to work and then end up going to school. So went to school, went to Columbus Technical College, graduated from there, got two different diplomas in two different fields. I was gonna go. Excuse me. I was gonna go back during that time. I think it was like maybe like 4 or 5 classes that I had to take to get my associate's degree or whatnot, but end up not doing it. At this particular point in time in my life, I was what was I doing? I was staying at my dad's house or whatnot because my dad had remarried. My stepmom, she was in the National Guard, and she had went for her training, and then all that other stuff. How it goes in the military and whatnot. So I was over there. My dad had asked me to come over there, and I was over there taking care of the household. My dad's older. My dad has money, but he doesn't know how to cook. I know how to cook and everything, and he was a club manager at this particular point in time, part time and working and everything. So I was pretty much over there being Mr. Nanny for like a year, a year and 3 months or something like that, and everything, and going to school and stuff. So did that, learned a lot over there, learned about sacrifice and stuff, family, all type of things. Staying in a 5 bedroom house, driving Jaguars. He had a he had a Jaguar. She had a Jaguar. They had a Mercedes, and they had a truck and everything that was on rims. Then I had my old school. So one week I'm driving this car, next week I'm driving this car, next week I'm driving this car. So folks looking like what in the world? Like what in the world going on or whatnot. So I'm kind of like basking in it or whatnot. It's just a lifestyle that I grew up around cars, fancy cars, and everything, whatnot. So time passes. Let's speed this up a little bit because this video is like an hour and 14 minutes long. I know y'all probably tired of hearing me talk. Probably shut the video off by now, but I pray it helps somebody. Um, Time passes and everything. Like I said, I graduated and started to get out on my own a little bit and everything. Still in bondage to cars and all this other good stuff. Started to feel myself. Did a little modeling. Started to be a super health nut, and God was really tugging on me then, tugging on my heart, convicting me of different things whatnot. But I still was trying to do it, do it my way. I would walk by my Bible, and then the Bible would just like, "You need to read me," like clearly, "You need to pick me up and read me." And I would look at the Bible like, I'm like, "Yeah, I get back to you," whatnot. Then go about my life. It was like that moment, like God said, "We need to talk. Pick me up. Pick my word up that's alive and read me." I'm like, "Yeah, I need to do it, but I get back." But so yeah, I had it's a girlfriend at a particular point in time. I had girlfriends all throughout my life and whatnot, but this is somebody who I thought I was going to marry. Didn't work out. Went through different, some trying situations with her. But now I can look back. I know that they served a purpose in what God was doing, and it was the first time that I was actually depressed. I've always been the type of person like depression, like you know, what is depression or whatnot. So that's what it took for me to receive salvation. It took, along with the other things, but it really took depression, because now I reached the point of depression where I didn't want to eat, didn't want to, didn't want to do nothing. All I want to do was lay down, just want to sleep. And some of you have um, been through that, and some of you still deal with it today on a regular basis. But this was something new to me, and I remember crying out to God and was like, this is not who I want to be. You know, I want to be like this and everything. And then, I felt like a little spunk back in me the next day, whatnot. Then I think it was that next day, it was that night. I was in my room, it was dark. And I don't know how I got there, but I was on my knees. I'd been praying. I was on my knees. And that's when I poured my heart out to God. I mean, like everything. I I was convicted about all my sins. And I confessed to God everything, I think pretty much everything that I had done, even though He already knew. I asked for forgiveness of my sins. And I cried. I cried like I cried bigger than a baby, pouring out my heart, pouring out my soul, pouring out everything, every fiber of me, whatnot. Realizing my wickedness that I had done, the things that I had done was just pure wicked. Like, I guess the weight of sin had come down upon me. You know, I guess you would say I cast it before God's feet. And then after that, the next day, I was a new person. It was the one time. It's the only time that I said you can go by a feeling, because if you've never been born again, you don't know what I'm talking about. But if you've been born again, you know what I'm talking about. When you cast all your sins, you ask God for forgiveness of those sins, and you know that those sins were bearing down on you, and you realize the wickedness that you had done in life. And then after that, you're somebody new. You can't explain it, but you know that something's different. Those sins that were upon you, I can say it now because I know what it was. I know what it is. Those sins, that weight of the sin that was upon me, God had lifted off of me. And it was, the air was fresher. The birds were chirping. The grass was greener. I know I just had this peace that, I had never known. Just overnight, like boom, something's different. Like, what happened? I'm somebody different. I was sitting outside under the carport, had my feet propped up. The weather was just right. The wind was blowing just right. The birds were chirping. I was listening to the birds chirp, 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 chirp. I was just like, birds just sound so beautiful. And I was just taking it all in. I was just, the grass smelled good. The breeze, everything just felt good. Everything was perfect. And then God spoke to me in my soul, as clear as I'm speaking to you. And this is how I know it's God, because it didn't contradict his word. And Satan wouldn't tell me something like this. He said that if you died at any point before that, you were going to hell. And that's the first time when the fear of God truly came over me. I was like, whoa. And ever since then, I've had a hunger to know God more and to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. And now you see the person that you see today, preaching God's grace, preaching forgiveness of sins through Jesus Christ, who shed his precious blood for you. A walking, living, breathing witness and testimony. I've done some wicked things in my life, and I haven't shared everything that I've done in this video. I know this video is kind of long. I've done some wicked things that, honestly don't believe I deserve forgiveness for. But God still forgave me. Jesus Christ still died for me to be forgiven of those sins. As the scriptures say, to whom much is forgiven, they love much. He loveth much. God has forgiven me for so much. And that's why I'm so passionate about preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. That's why I don't play with hypocrites. I don't play with fake Christians. I don't have time for games to be dealing with them because they're leading people astray. They're leading people to hell. And there's one thing I cannot stand. I cannot stand a hypocrite. Because I take this serious. I take the gospel. I take what God has given to me to minister to you and to minister to anybody who wants to listen. I take it serious. Because I know that 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 I know what God has delivered me from by the blood of Jesus Christ. I know the lifestyle I used to live. I know that if I died in my sins, I was going to hell. I know that I deserve hell. I think about that sometimes. I'm like, yeah, if I died at any point in time, that I was going to be in the pits of hell, no telling what they were going to be doing to me. Probably some of the same stuff that I did to other people. And this is why I preach the way that I preach so strong. I'm passionate about Jesus Christ. I love Jesus because I know that he saved me. If you don't know, if you have no testimony about what he saved you from, then how are you going to give a testimony? Today is the day of salvation. This video is long, but I don't apologize for it being long. You may have watched the whole video. I just pray that it touches your heart. I just pray that whatever you've done in your life, that you bring it before the throne of God. And you ask him for forgiveness. I don't care what it is that you have done in your life. Satan will condemn you and tell you you will not receive forgiveness. But I'm here to tell you that whatever it is, God will forgive you. Jesus Christ died for you to be forgiven of those sins. All you got to do is ask and let him make in you a new creature, freeing you from the bondages of sin by his precious blood that he shed for you. This is my testimony for Jesus Christ. God bless you all in Jesus Christ's name. And as always, stay focused for Jesus.